Hey, welcome everybody to Business Opportunity Live, and I am Jeff Cohen with C-Level Roundtable, and I'm really excited today. I've got some great folks with us. As you can see, the room is full, right?
Hey, everyone.
Yeah, there's Shayna and there's Stan, and you guys have met Gene Cohen, my brother from another mother. And Laura. Gail is the founder of the Women's Collaborative Mentoring program, and I've known Gail for, it's like 3 years now. We're going to talk a little bit about what Gail does in a minute and get her take on what's going on in the world. And before we jump into that, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant today because I'm actually pissed off. I went into all of these great programs that I was told our government had eyes open, like, go ahead, fill out all the forms. The money's going to be there. We're going to take care of you. And what did I get? I got, let's see, I filled out the emergency disaster loan information on the SBA website 3 different times because they had 3 different processes. And each time I was told it was important to do the new process. Now, the SBA has been great. Like, you can call them up and get someone on the phone in 5 minutes. Yay for that. But what you can't do is you can't get money out of that program. At least that's not the way it seems right now. And, maybe Gene or Gail has some information that I don't have, but I'm just talking from the experience I have personally and helping a few other people with the process. It's not fun. Now, on top of that, there's the PPP program, the Payroll Protection Act. And boy, so it took an extra week before some of the banks could actually get you their forms so you could submit them. I didn't have a concern that there would be money that would not be available, but then yesterday they changed it. The advance you could get when you filled out the emergency disaster form of $10,000 suddenly became $1,000 for each employee. Now, here I am. My business has 1 employee. It's me. And it's been affected by, this crisis. So $10,000 would make a significant difference in keeping the business, moving forward. What happened yesterday is now they've said you get $1,000 per employee. Now, listen, I think it'd be great to get $1,000, but that does not seem like what they had originally intended the program for. And it sure feels like it's a moving target. So we say we have a program today, but tomorrow we have a program and it's totally different. And that's not the only place it's showing up. I just saw an email, and as we're preparing for this call a few minutes ago, both Gail and Gene said, oh yeah, and the PPP money, it's going to run out by Friday. So if you don't get your application in, there's no real odds that you're going to get that money.
Wow.
So anyways, just help me out here. Like, what programs are people supposed to apply for? This is crazy. And I am pissed. I just want to get that off my chest. But
Jeff, you're not alone. I know a lot of people that are really frustrated.
Yeah, you know other people are frustrated?
I do.
One right here.
Yeah, people that are trying to file for unemployment, lots of small business owners, everything keeps changes. This administration didn't prepare for this at all. We knew about this back in December, and there was no preparation done to get anything set up in advance.
Almost all my telephone calls are about confusion and trying to get the money that probably won't be there.
Right. So I don't know about you guys, but it's so easy to be really frustrated. I really got the impression that our government was doing everything they could to put money into the economy so businesses don't tank, right? Now, my business is a service-oriented business, but a lot of businesses out there are product-oriented businesses. And if their sales are off and they're stuck with inventory and they've got to figure out how to pay for invoices on raw goods and materials and all of that, like, we're going to have some real problems in this country.
We definitely have some real problems in this country. It's all new
now,
and it's all a step-by-step process, and things are changing daily. I think the patience for a lot of people, Jeff, not only you, has run thin, and I can understand that. I'm working with clients daily on helping them apply for the right program. The PPP was really designed for people with payroll, people with a lot of payroll that they need to cover. And so the EIDL is a better loan. And even because we live in Los Angeles, the mayor has a loan for small business, which the clients that have applied for that have been able to get the money quicker. So it really is about applying for the right loan. And there has been so much confusion, even for the banks. The banks were the ones that were told to be able to deliver this loan the way that they usually deliver loans. The problem is banks don't loan to small businesses, especially startups or 2 to 3 years businesses. They just aren't. That's why they've done the lending through other programs. So a lot of banks hadn't even decided to be lenders in this. The latest is that PayPal and so many other programs are offering opportunities to take on the loan program. So it's still new. A lot of unsupported information is out there, and it's easy to get frustrated. But believe me, it's a step-by-step. Apply for the right loan, number one. And if you need help, reach out to that source to make sure you're applying for the right loan.
We're going to jump into that
Part of the issue
in just a minute, Gail. I want to give Gene a chance to share with us what's going on the tax front and with IRS. Gene, what's happening?
The news is that the IRS has suspended RMDs. So basically, for all your clients or people that you know, the IRS has basically said you do not have to take your RMD for 2020. So this has a few wrinkles in it, and also is a planning opportunity for your taxes. So if you're
What's
in
an
a
RMD,
position,
Gene?
I'm sorry?
Can you tell people what an RMD is?
Oh, it's your required minimum distribution. So the law was when you turn 70 and a half, you have to start taking money out of your IRA or your 401k. They've since raised it to 72. But most people are already drawing their RMD. So the government requires you to withdraw the money from your account, put it on your tax return, and pay income tax on it. That's the standard that it's working on now. Where the opportunities come is that, number one, if you don't need the money for your RMD, so you basically have enough and you're making it through here, it pays not to take your RMD. The advantages are, if you leave it in the account, it's still growing and earning money that you don't have to pay tax on. So basically next year, you'll be a whole year richer for the income that your RMD has earned. If you need some of it, so perhaps you have a shortfall and say, well, I can really use the cash to get through this, try to figure out how much of your RMD you actually need. So if you need 50% to fill in the gaps and get you through this virus time, then only ask for 50% and let the other 50% grow inside of your IRA or your 401k. The other option, there are a lot of people who take their RMDs as an annuity. Basically, the IRA or 401k management company just will send you a monthly check. If you decide that you no longer need it or want to cut it down, I would suggest you call the administrator of your IRA or your 401k and ask them to suspend or lower the amount that you are taking out. So the goal here for the best planning is just take the minimum that you need. If you don't need any of it, than just leave it. The other upside of this is that if you don't take it, you don't have to put it on your tax return. So just a little different perspective is if you're going to have income in 2020 and you don't really need the money, you don't want to put it on your return and push yourself into a higher tax bracket. So those are the very basics of dealing with your RMD.
Eugene, question. I'm not even close to retirement, so that's not really pertaining to me, but I want to know this $12,000 we were all promised. Do I have to file my taxes before I can get that? Oh, 1,200.
No.
Sorry.
No, no, no. The 1,200 is truly a gift.
Yeah. Well, till next year, right?
No. They're not going to count it as taxable income.
Oh, they're not.
Wait till tomorrow.
My understanding is it is not taxable income.
You mean as of today, it's not taxable?
As of today, everything only can be as of today.
Because
So-
I've quickly lost faith that there's as of today versus no, this is our program. So and I know I'm not speaking just for myself, but I got to tell you, people are counting on the support they're hearing about, and it is not showing up. It is not showing up in a very big way.
This is when American
that's
ingenuity is really going to come into play. We can't rely on our government here. We have to step up and we got to figure things out. This is when being an American, we have to be independent, and the socialism isn't going to work here. Sorry.
No, I get it.
Yeah. From my perspective, it's working your way through the system. There's nothing we're going to do with the system. It's here. But you can be smart about how you work your way through the system.
Well, and the reality is that they didn't really create systems for all of this. What they did was they created programs, and then they decided, we should probably have a system to support it.
It was all about how you could spin it to sound good.
You mean it's a bunch of Band-Aids?
It's a bunch of Band-Aids right now.
It's really not a program.
Well, then,
It's an idea.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. What are you seeing with all the people you work with and how they're getting through all of this today?
Today is not what it was. And I don't think tomorrow. And so it's really about what can you do to pivot your business and take a look at what is going to be needed going forward. Because so many opportunities are there. For instance, like Margarita, with the masks, she has that product that she's making masks with. So there are opportunities really quickly if you jump on them and start looking about trends and what's happening. But it's definitely looking at pivoting your business to be able to meet the demands of what's happening today. When it comes to the opportunities for grants, for money, for support, my SBA people are saying apply. And you don't have to apply for the same thing more than once. It's only going to slow things down. Apply for two different ones is fine. But look at all the opportunities that you have, especially for the grants that are forgiveness loans. Yes, we don't know how it's going to pan out. And yes, last week, if you applied and didn't hear something, maybe this week things are different. I do know a lot of more opportunities are coming on board with independent grants and things like that. So keep your eyes and ears open.
That's interesting, Gail.
Here's what I did learn. What I did learn when I talked to the SBA last Friday is that if you applied for the EIDL, the Emergency Disaster Loan, on March 30th or before, that you needed to apply again on their site on March 31st or after. Mm-hmm. Because they had some real problems with those systems. So I don't know if those applications really went through or not.
If you received a receipt, and you can, somebody reached out, and that's your clarification that they received your application. And then it's assigned to a loan officer. And from there, it will be, if they have questions about it, they'll contact you. Otherwise, it'll be processed as.
So here's the thing is that originally they were saying it was going to take 2 weeks to hear back from them. And when I called last Friday, they said they've gotten so many, it's going to be more like 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. Have you actually got people you've worked with, Gail, that are hearing back from the SBA on the emergency disaster loans?
They've heard back the initial, I did receive your application. I have one client that has received her money, but it wasn't through the SBA one. It was from the mayor's program. The mayor has a program for LA for small businesses. So it really, like I said, depends on the type of loan that you applied for. And making sure that you have the paperwork. Get your taxes in order, get your paperwork in order so it's all ready to upload to whatever programs come. Because when this money runs out, they're going to have to replace it with more money. So be ready. That's all I can say is be prepared, get your taxes and your paperwork and all of that ready so that you can be applying for all the grants and opportunities that come up.
Yeah, so that kind of goes in with the mantra of apply now, apply now, apply now. Just keep applying. As every single new application is available, fill it out, send it in, fill it out, send it in. And if you're really doing well and your business is unaffected, then yeah, it sounds like while you don't know if your business will be affected in the future, it sounds like making room for the people that actually really need it now is not a bad thing.
Well, if it's a loan, yes, it is a low interest loan, but if it is a loan, you're still going to have to pay it back, even though it's a year. So really make sure that you are taking that loan out based on what you need, not just, oh, extra money I get, to grow. It's really a loan to replace what you've lost, the debt. And so really make sure that it's you're prepared to pay that back.
Yeah, I would also go one step further, Gail. If you're taking the loan and you're taking it to replace salaries, but not actually do something to move your business forward, then that's potentially a mistake. Because you're going to be looking to pay that loan back. And if your business hasn't recovered, you've definitely got a catch-22 that you'll be dealing with.
I think that's where the clarification of the right loan comes from. If you have employees and you need to make payroll, the PPP is what is there for you. It's a forgiveness loan. You will not have to pay it back as long as 75% has been used to pay your employees and 25% has been used to pay overhead, lights, rent, all of the other things. If you have just taken that money, let people go and whatever, you're going to have a problem. But this is a forgiveness loan. So again, if you're using it to keep people on the payroll, then it's a loan well taken and it's a free loan.
Right.
And if I may add, you're going to have to do a lot of record keeping because when they finally come around to look, they're going to want you to provide the proof that it went to your payroll or the allowed deductions. So Correct. If they come and look and go, well, yeah, I paid it. And you go, well, can you establish that? Basically, you're out. So there's going to be a lot more record keeping to stay in compliance.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, perfect. Gail, do you have anything else that you want to share today?
Well, I think just like I said, take a look at opportunities to pivot. Take a look at what's available. Take a look at strategic alliances that you can connect with. A lot of our clients and classes that have graduated, they're working together on opportunities. A lot of them had Uber and Lyft and things like that they used for supplemental income. Well, that now has turned into delivering groceries. So, there are opportunities out there, just being able to look for them. There's jobs out there and there is unemployment out there, even if you are a small business owner.
Hey, thanks so much, Gail. And I want to pivot now. See, I use that word too. I want to pivot now. Let's talk a little bit about marketing. I want to have Stan share a little bit about what he sees businesses are doing from a marketing perspective to get through this and how they're growing their business that way.
Wow, well, thank you, Jeff. Well, here's what's going on. A lot of businesses are very worried about the future, and they're really cutting down on their marketing, their advertising. And what I'm seeing in industry is that's the opposite of what they should be doing. Right now is a great opportunity to continue your advertisement, continue your marketing, whether it's paid advertising or social media or posting blogs or whatever you do, continue doing that because you're going to get better position and you get better ranking with your information to get better results in searches. So that's definitely on there. And Sheena can talk more about social media platform. The other thing is, change some of your marketing. Instead of apply now or buy now, get info now. I know how to do, what's the latest. Start being a useful resource in your community so people can start taking notice of like what's really going on. And you can still promote your business and service, but come from a perspective of I'm in the community. I'm a business that's on your corner and I'm an anchor in your community. And here's what's really going on. And here's how, information that we're getting, we're sharing. And at the same time, we can help you with these things and these things. So coming from that, it's really great. And also be as transparent as possible. If you're doing business right now, let people know. Put on social media.
That's really great. And Stan, I think the thing I take away mostly from what you said today is be a resource. Like if you can aggregate information and provide support, that'll actually give people a reason to do business with you right now. You don't have
like some of the restaurants I'm seeing in my area is, hey, order takeout. And plus, if you need a dozen eggs and a gallon of milk and some other stuff, you can pick it up at the same time. So avoid going to the market and waiting outside in line 6 feet apart in the parking lot, right? So there are really some things you can do creatively to also, say, hey, these guys were there for us when we had a pandemic, and I'm going to visit that business after this is over because it's going to be over, and we're going to continue with everything. So that's what I got to share.
Yeah, just remember that if you do things like that, you may or may not be in compliance with whatever the food laws are. I remember hearing something about that. So just know that
for this. What I've heard is they changed it, so it might be a very simple way to apply for that, but just double check in case. But I've seen a lot of restaurants already doing that.
Stan, that's great information because
thanks so much, Stan.
What you're
also
saying,
just one more thing, they've also laxed regulations on alcohol sales. So if you go to a restaurant to buy food, you can get cocktails to go with your food.
Yeah, well, I'm just doing that no matter where I am, so it's all good.
Well, Stan's so right. If you're doing something that's helping you be an anchor in the community, you definitely want to let the people on your email list, the people that are connecting with you on social media, you want to make them aware of that because that creates some kind of loyalty. And then when they use their services, they feel like they're getting an opportunity to contribute. And right now, when we're all kind of on lockdown and looking for things to do, we're having more time to read our email, and that outreach that you used to do when people were so bombarded with things. Now they're looking at things and they're also looking at it with a new perspective. They may not be employed anymore. So they're starting to look for markets in which they can be useful. So definitely keep your outreach going on. If you stop now, you're just going to be even further behind whenever we come back, if you make it that far. So if you're really going to be a contender in the business market and have a business that's going to succeed, you have to find a way to reach people and to be of value in your community right now. There's so many ways. If you're doing anything for the healthcare population, anything for seniors, children, your food pantries, there's so many ways right now we can get involved, and whatever resources we have available, we can make those things available, even if it's a shout out on your social media for a cause. It's very well appreciated.
And Shana, you are the queen of shout outs. So thank you. I really got like all of the clients you're working with, like getting the word out, doing even watch parties for these recordings that we're doing. And helping people just know what's going on. So I really appreciate that.
Well, it's so important. And the nice thing right now is we can go across the nation. What we're doing here in LA can impact people in Ubunk little town in across the United States. So we do matter. We can make a difference.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Hey, I want to thank everyone for being here today. You know, time just flies by when we have these conversations. It's like boom, boom, boom. But I just want to say, really great having you all. Gail, I hope you'll come back and do this again with us, like Gene has, and Shayna and Stan and a host of others, and we'll get that on the calendar, like effectively this time. Yeah, well, you don't know it. Yeah, I'll tell you another time. But yeah, thanks so much. And everyone, listen, remember, this is your time. Now is the time to apply for the PPP. Get it in today. Don't hesitate. You don't have time anymore. Whatever you have, get it in. The worst case scenario is they'll ask you questions and you may or may not have the answers, but then there'll be another program coming. At least that's what I'm hearing. I'm not sure I fully believe it yet, but we'll see. So anyway, with that, so long, everyone. Have a great day.